I offer my most humble pranams at the lotus feet of my beloved Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Respected elders, brothers, sisters and young children, Jai Sai Ram to you all. When I was asked to record a moment with Sai, I took some time just to sit quietly and reflect on what does it mean to me. And as always, as Bhagwan has said, you sit quietly and you'll hear me in your heart. And the message was quite quickly to say, every moment, every breath, every second, I'm with you. So every moment, every second, every breath is a moment with Sai. But today I just want to share one or two short experiences which I was fortunate to be in the presence of Bhagwan in the interview room in 2006. So we went as a group from the UK, and one of the plans was any of the brothers that had not been in the interview room would go in first and get more closer proximity to Bhagwan. So I was fortunate to be one of the 4 brothers. Now, Swami's interview room is a very small room, as you may know, and we're all trying to get closer to Bhagwan so we can hear his sweet voice as well. And so I ended up sitting right in front of Bhagwan on the floor, cross-legged, and my legs were actually touching his feet all the way through the interview for about 45-50 minutes. And as we've heard in the past, Bhagwan is asking us lovingly our names, what the names mean, what do we do for jobs, family, general questions as well, what's happening, what have we been up to. And the interview's continuing, and I'm feeling, very blessed to be there and kind of pinching myself to say, am I really sitting here with Bhagwan? And the incident I wanted to share was, as we know, Bhagwan is Shiva Shakti, so that the mother, divine mother and divine father. And in this one short experience, we felt, and I definitely felt, the love of 1,000 mothers, as Bhagwan says, but also the divine father, love as well, and the teachings and the learnings from it. So the comment went to Bhagwan to say, Bhagwan, these are good boys. And Swami straight away said, they're not good boys, they're God boys. And at the same time, Bhagwan is in the air writing good, saying, how do you spell good? G-O-O-D. And he said, remove one of the O's, which is the ego, and become God boys. And then the thunderbolt of the 1,000 mother love struck my heart and all of our hearts. He said, these are my boys. They're God boys, they're my boys. And even now, as I'm sharing this experience, the hairs on my arms are standing up because his love is just so immense. So the Divine Mother has given us the love. And as we know, Bhagwan doesn't do anything without a message, without a learning. What do we take away from what he's saying? So on one hand, we have the Divine Mother. And as I mentioned, the Shiv Shakti, we have the Divine Father. So his next sentence straight away was, when you're here with me in the ashram, you're very good boys. When you leave the ashram, you're not as good. And then the thunderbolt of the Divine Father, the lesson, the learnings and everything struck again. In this way, he said, when you're back in London, you eat things you shouldn't be eating. You drink things you shouldn't be drinking. And you see things you shouldn't be seeing. And this was the switch from the smiley, loving Swami motherly, in front of us, the mother, to I saw another side of Bhagwan in terms of his eyes were big, his teeth were grinding. And it got very scary for that split second in the interview. And we knew, and the message was very clear, I'm with you all the time. I'm giving you everything you want and more. I even give you things that you don't even ask for or dream for. All I ask you to do is, 1 is to love me, and 2 is to follow my message. And the feeling at that time, if I could explain it, very difficult to explain, but it was, Bhagwan, if you wanted to, you would turn us into ashes. It went from a very, loving kind of mood in the interview room to a very kind of, the Shiva, the kind of feeling that was there. And then after that split second, he looked, so I was sitting obviously below him at his feet, looking up at him, and he looked down, he started smiling, and everything kind of clicked, and the interview continued as you know, as it was previously as well. So he gives everything, he gives the love, he gives the message, and all you know, he wants is for us to take his message, to listen to him and take his words and live the words, you know, live his message and the learnings we get from him as well. So that's one very small experience with him. He gave us the full, you know, the divine mother love, the father, the sternness, but also the love as well to teach us. You know, he didn't continue in the feeling that, you know, you are doing this wrong and the rest of the interview. He quickly went back to the love as well, because he's just pure love. That's all he is, you know, and his love for us, and all he wants is our love for him as well. And I just wanted to share the final little bit in that interview as well. So going back to 2004, we were in Prasanthi as well. And as we were sitting inside Kuala Lumpur when Bhagwan was in the interview room, I was talking to a brother here from Leicester as well. And he was sharing his experiences, or his father's experience, where in the days gone, they used to sit with Swami. As Swami sat on the chair, they would sit at his feet, like we were in the interview room, but not just sit there, but massaging Swami's feet as well. And at that moment, which was August 2004, that experience, or that thought, that memory came back to me whilst I was in the interview room. And all the time I was thinking, I would love to massage Bhagwan's feet. Now, being with Bhagwan, we have to be obviously very particular the way we do things, and we ask Swami for, you know, touching his feet, and, you know, and asking questions, and so on and so forth. And in the past, I've had, you know, many opportunities to touch his feet, to kiss his feet, but not massage his feet. So Swami very graciously allowed us to sing some songs. And he sat, you know, and smiling and listened. So we only sang three songs. There's an English song, a Telugu song, and a Hindi song. We probably sang about half of each, a few paragraphs of each song. During that time, the memory, you know, came flooding back to me, thinking that, you know, this might be my opportunity to massage Swami's feet whilst I'm here, and who knows if I get another opportunity like this again. But how do I ask Bhagwan? He's sitting there smiling, listening to us singing. So as I'm sitting at his feet, my hands come up, folded, and then they go towards his feet, but not touching them. But my eyes were connected with Bhagwan, and his eyes were connected with mine. And as I'm thinking in my heart, Swami, do I go ahead or not? He's just smiling. And I'm thinking, this isn't the go-ahead signal for me yet. So I move my hands, and he's still smiling, and we continue singing. And then I try again, and the same thing happens again. Still eyes connected, heart to heart, smiles are there, but not getting the answer. And then the third time in my heart, and I'm thinking, this is the opportunity, and he's smiling, and I put my hands on his feet. And I'm kind of testing the water, because he's just touching his feet first, and he continues smiling. And I think this is my, you know, thumbs up, green signal, continue. And as we've heard and read as well, I'm sure, Swami's feet are like, you know, a small child's feet, very soft, very delicate, very silky, and even now I can, you know, my hands are still feeling that, you know, the massaging of his feet. And I put my hands all around his feet, back to his ankles and his heels, and just massaging away. It may only have been for about 20-30 seconds, but you know, it was a dream come true. And Bhagwan is just smiling all the way through it, and I'm thinking, you know, Swami, you know, thank you, you know, I'm very fortunate. You've given everything and more. You even gave me the memory that was 2 years before as well, during that time whilst I was sitting with you as well. So Bhagwan gives us many moments with him, and for us, we just have to, you know, take it forward, pray to him, do his work as he always wanted to, love him, hold on to his feet, and use every opportunity, you know, to offer it to him at work, at school, at nursery, doing his work in the organization, an organization that bears his name, that he started himself. You know, how blessed we are to do his work in there. So I thank Bhagwan for this wonderful opportunity to share what he's given to me with yourselves, because it reminds me of the love that he gives us, and not just the love, but the messages and what I need to do, and remind myself to follow his word, to love him unconditionally like he loves each and every one of us. Jai Sai Ram.